following presentation is for educational purposes only. All of the symbols, trading ideas, and live trading are for demonstrational purposes and are not recommendations or trading advice. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. All of the information and opinions expressed by third-party guests are their own and are not necessarily those of NinjaTrader LLC. Trading futures involve substantial risk and may not be suitable for everyone, and trading futures can result in losses greater than the initial required margin. Traders should only trade futures with risk capital. Risk capital is money that you can afford to lose without jeopardizing your financial security or current lifestyle. You can find additional disclosure information on the NinjaTrader website.
We are back, folks. My name is Jim Cagnina. This is NinjaTrader Platforms Unleashed. We're going to talk about some alternative chart types today. And so we'll pull up some tick charts, some range bars, stuff like that, maybe a Renko. Feel free to type in questions as we go. So you have a lot of options. There's a lot of unique ways to chart price, to track price, to do technical analysis. And we're going to show some of the ones that you may be familiar with, you might not be familiar with. I don't know that they're specialty necessarily charts because people use them. They're very popular, but let me just show you how to do it. Sounds good? All right. So let me start from the scratch here. We have our control panel up here, right? Control panel does everything. This thing is awesome. So I'm going to go to the new button, and I'm just going to click on chart, the word chart. It's going to open up this dialog box. It's called data series, but I'm launching a new chart from scratch, right? And so I'm going to select, you could use the drop-down menu if you want to go ahead and pick something. You could just type, it's a smart search. You could type in, the word gold or whatever, it'll show up, give you a list of options here as well. But I'm just going to pick the very first one, E-mini S&P September 2024. And it's going to populate that in the applied area, right? So now I got to decide, what type of chart I want, right? What parameters I'd like to apply to the chart. And so let's kind of go over to the right-hand side here, right? So right away it says data series type minute, right? So if I wanted to do a 1-minute chart, it's fine. If I wanted to do a 10-minute chart, I change that to a 10, 30-minute chart, change that to a 30, et cetera, right? That's how I would change that to actually make a candle chart. This is just go down here to chart style, candle chart, right? Basic candle chart, right? And so just, everything else here is more or less cosmetic. We won't go into too much detail in the properties area, but I do, suggest everybody explore that a little bit more. I'm just going to hit OK. And we're going to launch this chart. Oopsie, launched over here. Let's pull it over here. I'm going to move the control panel over here for now. I'm going to launch it here. This is just really a naked candle chart, right? 10-minute candle chart. There's nothing on it. This is kind of probably pretty common. We use it every day, me and Tom and Mike Burke during the shows, right? So, but we don't have to. We have more options than this, right? This is the time series, right? This is time series analysis, right? So every 10 minutes, a new candle is formed, a new candle is born, and the old candle is painted on the screen. It can't change, right? It's memorialized, an open, high, low, close price, and it shows you history going back, right? In 10-minute increments, right? It's kind of easy, 10-minute increments. So let's go ahead and make a different chart though, because we have other ones. I'm going to right click and go to data, a data series, right? I'm just going to right click and go to data series. And right away, I'm going to look at type again. I'm going to drop down type, right? I like the candle so far, but I'm going to click on this drop down menu right after type it. And you can see we have tick charts, volume charts, range. These are called range bars. Second, you could do charts in seconds if you're really super quick. Minutes, daily chart. This is inter-day, weekly chart, monthly chart, year, right? Hekinashi. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. Hekinashi charts, Kagi, Renko, point and figure, line and break, and volumetric. So these are these are choices like relatively common choices, believe it or not, are right in here. Let's start with tick. We're going to change it to tick, right? So we'll change this chart to a tick chart, and let's define how many ticks we want each bar. This bar is not time sensitive, right? In other words, if so many ticks have traded, so many trades have happened with a predefined amount of them, then it's going to go ahead and populate a new a new candle. So let's just go ahead and just, I don't know, let's change this to instead of 150, which was the default there, let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's make it 250. All right. So I'm going to change it to 250. Everything else is cosmetic pretty much. We'll hit apply and okay. So now it still looks like a candle, right? It still looks like a candle, but the time at the bottom is kind of irrelevant, right? We're saying, hey, for every 250 trades, we want to complete 250 ticks, 250 trades. We want to complete a candle, right? We want a candle to be completed, and then we'll start building another candle, and so on and so forth. So the time isn't, it's not, time is going forward for sure. It can't go backward. We all know that. But the candle isn't necessarily built in any given time frame, right? It's just once that amount of trades happens, right? That bulk amount of trades happens, then we get a new candle. It's called a tick chart. And it's pretty popular, right? A lot of people like tick charts and use tick charts as a way to kind of filter, right? As a different kind of way to filter. And again, I have it set at 250. I don't know if that's a normal level or not. That's kind of up to you to choose from. A lot of people like to use 516, I think, or 512 or something like that. 1500 is also another common one. But at the end of the day, it gives you a candle chart that lends itself to technical analysis, right? So this is pretty popular, actually, tick charts. So again, I'm going to right click. I'm going to go to data series. And again, I could amend it, right? If I want to make this 1500, I could type it in 1500, right? Again, every time we have 1500 trades, then boom, we're going to get a new candle. Let's go ahead and change that a little bit as well. So it's pretty basic. And then you could apply any other technical analysis techniques you want on this, any kind of indicators that you want on this, you could apply to it as well. I know this is kind of just a naked chart, but I'm just I just want to go through the different options that we have available to us on NinjaTrader, pretty much all of them, right? Pretty much all of the options. All right, so that's kind of number one is tick. Any questions on tick charts? Throw them in. Be happy to talk about it in further detail. I'm going to right click again. I'm going to go to data series. Now, if I want to toggle back to a candle, I'm just going to hit, again, instead of tick, I'm going to change it to, a time series candle, right? Just change it to minutes or days. And then again, my value, again, everybody knows I like 10 minutes. And hit apply and okay. And now I'm back to it. I'm back to my 10-minute chart, right? I'm back to my 10-minute chart. Now, you could have as many charts open as you want. With the NinjaTrader software, it makes it it's pretty easy to do. So as an example here, let me kind of minimize this a little bit. And then we'll go to range bars next. Let me move this over here a little bit. Bear with me here while I populate this on my screen. We're going to have two charts. We'll have one on the left and we'll have one on the right. And so I could just right click at the bottom bar here or at the top bar here and duplicate the window, right? Duplicate the window. It's going to give me another one, right? Exactly. It'll give me the exact same thing that I have, right? It's just duplicating. That's what duplicate is, right? You make a replica. You're cloning it. We're cloning this chart. So 10-minute chart on the left. And on the right-hand side here, now I could do something different, right? I could right-click and I can go to a data series again. And let's say instead of tick charts, let's say that I want to try range bars, right? It's not called range chart. It's called range bars, which is kind of weird. But we'll go ahead and we'll get to Renko in a second, Manny. Thank you for that. Range bars. So I changed my type to range bars. Now, value, right? Value is going to define your range here, right? The default's 4, and that makes a little sense because of the E-mini S&P. But I think a standard might be maybe 8, might be 12. As long as, in my mind, I like to have an evenly divisible per the tick size, right? And it's 4 ticks per point in the E-mini S&P. So I'm going to change this to 8 just for now, right? And then again, it's going to look like a candle, but time is not important anymore. So it's important, but it doesn't define the candle. So I'll hit apply and okay. So range is 8. Remember that. So let's look at these bars. So every single bar and there's wicks here. There's wicks here. Every single bar is 8 ticks tall, right? Is 8 ticks tall. So once a candle achieves that 8 tick designation, then it's completed, and then a new candle will start to form, right? So we just saw one just form right here. So if you measure high to low in any one of these candles, they're all going to be 8. It doesn't look like that kind of because the wicks kind of skew your view here, but it is exactly the case, right? So once you hit 8, boom, a new bar is formed, and it could take a long time. It could take a short time. Who knows how long it could take. So during the opening range, it'll probably take a shorter time. Middle of the day, it'll probably take a longer time. So again, time isn't as important here as the size of the actual of the candle. That's what defines the range bars. And some would say, well, it takes out some of the noise associated with just a regular candle, right? It takes out some of the noise associated with a regular candle because we see in regular candles, you get these big wicks, right? Up, and you get these big wicks down. In this case, you won't, right? The biggest wick is possible is here. It's 8 ticks. Can't get any bigger than that. The wick can't get any bigger than 8 ticks the way I have it. So you'll see up here in the dialog box, it says 8 range. It's kind of reminding me, all right, that's the 8 range right there. Very popular way. Again, you could do technical analysis on this thing, trend lines, Fibonacci, RSI, whatever you want, whatever stuff you want to add, you could certainly add it as a range bar. I would, again, though, the main takeaway here is focus on the tick increment. And you wouldn't probably make this a 3 tick range bar because that's an odd number, right? 3 is not divisible into it is, but it's just it's not an even number associated with the tick size of an E-mini S&P. So, crude oil, you might want to go 10, you might want to go 5, something that's divisible. Something that's divisible. It's more of that's more best practices, really. Now, if you see something unique in the ointment, then go for it. I don't want to discourage innovation, but it's something to think about. All right, so range bar here. I'm going to put this guy down. And then I'm going to pull this guy down. Let's fill the gap here. And you know what I'm going to do next, right? You guys know what I'm going to do next. I am going to right click and duplicate again. And we'll go to another one. So there we go. Let me get it perfectly there. All right. Right click, duplicate window, and it's going to give me another one, another range one, right? So I'm going to open this up, bring it all the way back down. And remember, if I ever want to toggle back, right click, data series, and I'm like, no, I just want a regular minute, 10-minute candle here. Easy to do. You're just going to go to that data series, apply an OK, and then you're back to that view, right? You're back to that 10-minute view. So it's really easy to toggle around. So let's go to the next one again. Right click, data series, right? Let's go to right click data series. And then let's see, type, drop down menu. So daily is kind of self-explanatory. It's just a candle tracking what we call intraday data, right? The candles are based on one day. Same with the weekly, same with the monthly, and then yearly. That's like if you got like long-term approach there. We'll do Hekinashi and Kagi, but I want to go to Renko because this is the next one that's relatively easy to explain. So I'm going to hit that. And again, Renkos are bricks. They're called bricks. I don't know why they're called bricks. I mean, they're bars, but they're called bricks because you're going to set the size of the brick, right? You're going to set how big it could be. And again, similar to range bars that have a wick, Renko won't have a wick. So I'm going to go ahead and set this to, again, we'll make it 8, right? Because that's the size of that's 2 points in an E-mini S&P. I think that's reasonable. I'm going to hit apply and I'm going to hit OK. So let me just kind of open this up a little bit. So notice there's no wicks, right? Notice there's no wicks. Now, the difference here, once 8 ticks are achieved, that's not good enough. We have to be either 8 ticks above or 8 ticks below the previous bar. right? 8 ticks above or 8 ticks below the previous bar. And as Manny says, Renko are great for scalping on the NQ. So right away we have somebody who's like, hey, in tuned with how these work. These are supposed to be at 45-degree angles, but that doesn't really matter because as you move your axis, it looks a little different, right? But you could see this, the candle is literally, it's fighting right now, right? It's like, it's not going to be complete until we're 8 ticks above here, right? Until we get to 54.84, then it would be complete. Or if we get down to 54.78, then it would be complete. Let me just really quickly find my drawing tools so I could show this a little bit better. So again, we need to get up here for that candle to be complete, and then a new one forms, or we have to be down here, right? So just going back to break even won't be enough, right? It won't be enough. It has to go back. You would think, well, this is 8. Why can't we have an 8? No, there's no equal and opposite here. It's an addition. It's additive. So we need to get to one of these two levels for a new bar to form, right? And again, the idea is let's take out some of the noise associated with wicks, associated with volatility, intraday volatility, and let's look at the trend. The trend might be a little bit more important for some traders, which it should be, by the way. And this gives you the ability to do that. And again, I have it set at 8. You could set it at 4. You could set the bar width to be wider if you want the bar width to be wider. I kind of like this view. I think it's easy. And again, you could do your technical analysis. You could do your technical analysis here as well. So these bars, again, they're not time sensitive. We could be hanging out here forever before a new bar is formed, right? There we go. We just had a new bar formed. We just witnessed the birth of a new bar, a new Renko bar. And now again, doesn't matter how long it takes, right? If it's a quickly moving trend, this bar is gonna complete fast. If it's a slow moving trend, it's gonna take forever for this bar to long time for this bar to complete, right? So it's an interesting concept because it does kind of declutter your view, right? It's like, all right, I don't really care about the wicks that much. I'm interested in catching these trends, right? I'm interested in catching these trends. No matter, again, it's not time sensitive. We don't know how long this took. Well, we do because we could look at the bottom, but this trend up, we can catch that trend up. And that's, I think, how I would apply this particular technical analysis technique is to think in terms of trend here, right? Now, maybe we're kind of sideways, we're kind of choppy. And the sense that because I set it to 8, the range is going to be 8. So let me just kind of tell you, let me just draw my rectangles. Everybody knows I like rectangles. So there's support right there. And then I'd probably draw resistance up here. And we can go sideways with these Renko bars the rest of the day. It's just like any other chart. So I forgot to put my little spotlight on there, just like that. So again, pretty powerful tool. So let's do another one, shall we? There's a lot to choose from. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to right click and I'm going to duplicate my window on my 10-minute candle. And then I'm going to move this guy down. So you can see what I'm starting to do, right? I'm starting to build a chart book based on, and actually I should have that tick chart up. I took it down, but we'll add that back later before we're done here. So I'm going to go back up here. Right. So now we have another 10-minute, and the reason I have a 10-minute in the upper right is now I could modify it, right? I can create another type of chart. So I'm going to go ahead and just right click again, data series. All right. What else do we have? And unfortunately, we're not going to have enough time to cover them all. And I suggest everybody, hey, get a free NinjaTrader software, download it, and experiment. Right? Use that time to experiment and see if and study these techniques and see if any of these kind of ring a bell for you, or you jive with them. Okay, so where are we at here? We're all the way down. Let's go back to Hakanashi. I can never say that word. I would be like the worst Japanese person in the world. I can't say it, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and click it. Um, and I have it on a minute chart right here, base period, right? So this is the base period value. You have to decide on how you want to set that. But let's go ahead and hit apply and okay. So bear with me a second here. So this looks different, doesn't it? This looks a little bit different. I'm going to read you the definition just to make it easier to understand. So I'm going to just read it to you off Investopedia. So it uses a lot of averages, right? And I'll show you the equation here. It's a funky equation, to be honest with you. Let me close all these pop-ups. I'm just going to pull over Investopedia really quickly here. So this is the formula, right? And I know we're getting into weeds a little bit, but this is the formula on this particular, and you could easily Google this. It's really easy to do. And you can see there's averages, right? The close is averaged, the open is averaged differently. And then you got the high max and the low min, which is based on a formula as well, right? So it constructs these bars a little bit differently. And I don't know who made this up. I guess I'd have to go to Tom and say, hey, Tom, who made up this Hakanashi chart style? But um, again, it's used to analyze trends. Once you become an expert at it, it could be kind of a powerful trend finding tool. You could use it in any market. And there's specific signals that one would look for with this particular chart. And you could even compare it with your candle, right? You can compare it with your regular candle chart. So I'm going to keep that up here like that. So you can see it looks substantively different, right? It looks substantively different than just a 10-minute. I have this on a 1, right? I could change it. I could change the time frame to 10 or to whatever you want. And just to kind of look at my crosshairs here for a second. Where are they at? There we are. So you could see every minute we're getting a new candle. And if I wanted to change that again, just right click, data, and change that to, I don't know, base period could be 5 if you want. And all the rest of this stuff is pretty much cosmetic. I'll hit apply and okay. And this is what it looks like on a 5-minute chart, right? This is what it looks like in a 5-minute chart. So range bars, 10-minute, which I'm going to turn into a tick in a minute. Ikanashi, Renko. All 4, one screen. If you have a multi-monitor setup, even better. You could put them on different monitors. If this type of approach is good for you, right? If this approach is good for you. And look at that Renko on the lower right. Sideways still, right? We're not trending now, right? So a Renko trader might say, well, until we get 2 bricks, 3 bricks in a direction, I'm not going. I'm not getting long, right? That could be a trade idea associated with all of your other technical analysis ideas that you may or may not have. Let's go back to that 10-minute. Let's right click. Let's go to data series. And let's see what else we have. Drop down, type. So Kagi, I don't know much about this one, to be honest with you, but I'm going to pull it up anyway. And then take a peek. Base period 1. Let's change that base period at least to 5. Let's make it a little bit bigger here. And this will go in the lower right-hand corner here. So let's boom, apply, and okay. Now, this isn't a candle. What is this? This looks different. Right, it is different. It's like a moving line, right? It's a moving line that's tracking price, right? It is time-based, right? It is time-based. Each one of these is 5 minutes. And you could see it's color coded, right? So it helps with the color coding. And it's just another charting technique. I think this one is a little bit, again, I don't know a lot about the Kagi, right? But you could go through Investopedia and other places and NinjaTrader's Q&A section and learn a little bit more about it. It is one of the available things that we have. Right click data series. Let's see what else we got here. Drop down. Oops, I got to go back. I'm sorry. Let's change this back. So sometimes you get to a chart and you can't change it. Hang on a second, everybody. Because right now all of these things are, oh, here we go, type. Never mind. Type. So we have volumetric bars. Let's do the volumetric bar. Ticks per level. I think that's fine. Let's hit apply. And okay. And you're going to get these candles that these bars, they're candles. But what they do is they give you tick for tick bid ask information or volume information, right? So let me open this up. You got to really open it up to see it pretty good. But and again, I have it at a 1 minute. Probably should make it a 5 minute. Let's change it. Let's change it. Let's go to data series. Some people might be familiar with the word like um, number bars as an example. Let's just do 5. Oops, let's just do 5. I'm going to hit apply and okay. So there you go. So then you have these bars, right? And you have these bars and it shows each tick level, right? Each tick level, each price level, the smallest increment is called a tick. And it shows you basically the delta, right? You're looking at the delta, trades on the bid, trades on the offer, and it's color coded, right? It's color coded. And you can see at the top here, not surprisingly, trades on the bid, trades on the offer. Nothing got past the offer here, right? Nothing got past the offer here. And we pushed back down. That's kind of the easiest way to get the sense of of what's happening here. So, and it's color coded, right? So green is up, red is down, and it's in a heat map type of format, right? So in a heat map type of format. And so folks, traders will look for levels of interest, right? For bigger, where the bid offers big, where's the offers big, where the bid's big, right? And then just kind of envision that from a unfilled orders point of view or an historic point of view. And it can kind of give you some inflection points, some areas where it's like, all right, we're depleting inventory. We're depleting the offers. We're depleting the bids. Price is going to be changes when you do deplete it. So again, this is a unique kind of, again, a unique technique, right? And I'll warn you, it's a little bit harder to look back in time because when you look tick for tick and you kind of make things smaller, you can't, for me, for an old guy, can't see the data so well, right? So I want to open it up and really kind of see the data pretty well and take a peek at what's going on there. So this is it's called volumetric bars. So volumetric bars. I'm going to minimize this guy. And there we have it. So I think what I would do here, if I was going to complete this exercise, I would, again, I'd probably right click, I would duplicate, then somewhere here, I'd go back to my tick chart, I would go to data series, and then drop down there to the range. Let's just make this 500 for fun. Apply, okay, and then, try to squeeze it in somewhere, right? I will squeeze it in over here. Now, I have a multi-monitor setup, but I can't show you it. So this would be on, we'd spread this out over a couple monitors. We'd spread this out over a couple monitors. All right, there you have it. We're running low on time, but a couple other things I want to show you really quick, right? Other charting techniques. There's other charting techniques available to you as well. Again, right click, data. Going back to that type. I'm going to scroll down. We have point and figure. We have point and figure. We haven't done actually Gavin Holmes is a big point and figure guy. And I think Tom's pretty good at it as well. But if you're looking for point and figure, I'm not going to add it to the chart at this point because we're out of time, but it's right there. It's right. It's one of the options in the drop-down menu. And it's a specialty thing and it's pretty good. I remember using it on the floor of the board of trade way back then when we were using a piece of paper and pencil. I think that's pretty much it, how we wanted to cover it. There's other stuff here too we didn't get to yet. Chart style, it's different, right? So chart style is a little different, right? So chart style is more options, basically. It's fabulous. You got equal volume charts, hollow candlestick, Kagi line, line on close, mountain, open, high, low, close. That's your traditional one. Here's another place where you could put point and figure, and then open and close, right? So these are different chart styles that you could add in addition to the chart type that we saw under data series at the top. So again, pretty powerful stuff. Again, right click data series, go ahead and, do some experimentation. I highly recommend it.
All of the symbols, trading ideas, and live trading are for demonstrational purposes and are not recommendations or trading advice. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. All of the information and opinions expressed by third-party guests are their own and are not necessarily those of NinjaTrader LLC. Trading futures involve substantial risk and may not be suitable for everyone, and trading futures can result in losses greater than the initial required margin. Traders should only trade futures with risk capital. Risk capital is money that you can afford to lose without jeopardizing your financial security or current lifestyle. You can find additional disclosure information on the NinjaTrader website.